Good morning, retail traders. I want to come to you again today and talk about a sector that's been hurting here lately, and that's the woke, the WOKE. Go woke, go broke. They've been in a bear market for quite a while, ever since the announcement of Bud Light calling their drinkers out of touch. I thought that was unusual, but what the heck? It was a good trade. So let's go ahead and talk about the woke stocks. I'm going to take off my bear mask. This is a sneaky snake trading strategy where we talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. Can you imagine when I was a young child? I was a little bit different than other kids. I had real bad epilepsy and was doing a lot of drugs back then to try to figure out what was wrong with me. They had no clue. But I slept a lot in school, and I was a little bit different than all the other kids. Teachers would go to my parents and say, "What's wrong with this boy?" They'd say, "Well, he's got a brain tumor or something wrong. He's having seizures and he's taking a lot of medicine." Like, can you imagine if my parents would have aborted me or maybe started shooting me up with sexual hormones because I was a little bit different than all the other kids? They wouldn't stop me from enjoying my adolescence time of my life, and there was things I couldn't do because I had seizures, but I was very active in sports. So the only thing left for me to do was to get involved in business. So I started mowing yards, selling Kool-Aid, anything to occupy my time. But at that time, I was a young kid. I'd hate for people to try to make decisions for me because I was a little bit different as a young child. So we're going to go straight into the wokeness. Now, we understand that these companies are trying to change our habits and our ways of life. Disney, Target, Bud, Nike are all in the woke business. And ever since then, their stock's been hurting real bad. Now, I'm the only one that talks about this. Me and Joe on CNBC, Squawk Box, we know the correlation. We know why they're pulling back. Because like I said, their customer base is out of touch. They're bashing their customer base. All of them, all four of them. They're bashing women, and they're bashing men at the same time. So Disney's been woke for a while, but it's really in woke business now that we're all in full form. Target, you know what they've done. Seems like a lot of shoplifting goes on there at Target because of wokeness, this new generation. And then you got Budweiser, which said their clients were out of touch, and if it wasn't that they made a change, that they were going to lose market share. So they decided to target 1.5% of America, which I think that's a high percentage. And the hell with the 95% that drink their beer. So we've seen what's happened to it. And then you got Nike promoting trannies with sports bras. So I don't know. I don't think too many trannies have tits unless they have an operation to get one. But I know a few fat fucks that definitely have some titties that are gay. I mean trannies that would just love to walk around in the nude and show their penis to young children. But that's the way I look at it. So we're going to go ahead and look at these stocks individually and see if we can get a bounce on them or see if there's going to be more drama. Now, I like trading stocks like this that have knives, but I've traded puts on every one of these companies in a negative manner. I'm not buying the upticks on them. I did call out a reversal play on them when this first rebound happened back in here on Budweiser. But, Budweiser doesn't get it. If I was the marketing manager of Budweiser, this is what I would have done. I wouldn't have brought politics into the game, and I would have merged with the cannabis companies and come up with some kind of cannabis beer. This Keef soda pops that I've been drinking are great. I mean, I could drink one of these soda pops and feel real good. So yeah, after I get done trading, I like to relax, have me a Keef root beer, and then have my time instead of a Budweiser or a bottle of wine. So thank you, Budweiser, for bringing me to a sober state of mind. I haven't had a beer since wokeness. Thank you. I love you. So let's go ahead and talk about the stocks themselves. We're going to go ahead and pull this up on a different chart. Go woke, go broke. Disney's going to be our first choice. None of them understand why they're pulling back. They're going to lose market share. There's decent people out here that want to raise their own kids. They don't need some outsider telling them about wokeness, if they're gay or not. Hey, 8-year-old, do you have the tendency of being gay? Or how about trying on this bathing suit with a tuck and duck in it for you? No, this is what's going on in America is pathetic. But that's the way it is. I have to live with it. So I put that in perspective. That's part about being in the now. The other part is about knowing chart patterns and using moving averages. Right now, Disney is under all my moving averages on the yearly time frame, and we're at a whole new low. Now, they thought they could bring this new CEO in and turn this company around. He hasn't addressed the real issue yet, and they're not going to address the real issue yet. It's too late. It's too late. So they're going to be bleeding on you shareholders, and that's the only way they're going to be able to finance their business. Me, I'm going to keep buying the puts if we ever get a spike, which we will. Wall Street, like I said, Joe is the only one on CNBC that I've watched get interviewed ever since wokeness that has always said, is it wokeness? Is it wokeness? Is it wokeness bringing these companies down? None of them, they're all in denial. They're blaming the war, they're blaming inflation, they're blaming Mother Nature. I mean, they're blaming Mother Nature for Disney in Florida. They blame everything but what needs to be the blame, and that's the management. The management of the company that doesn't understand their clientele. So we do have a triangle right here. And I'm very serious about this, but you know, I'm the only one talking about it. And I'm the only one that's been playing the dip on these stocks. I mean, they're perfect for this kind of weather. Talk about the news, you know, being in the now. What stock brings a stock up and down? Right now, we just pulled back to support in this triangle, in this wedge. So we are at a bottom, and we could bounce back up and meet probably about halfway. So I'm going to draw a little resistance line in here where I think we can break. But I want to bring this up to the weekly time frame and have a good look at it. See, here's another. We're going to look at the weekly here. We might be able to take this thing down, or I'm going to use the wicks on the weekly time frame instead of the bodies, which I usually use on the daily. So this stock can go down a lot more. If stuff gets bad and the market conditions don't improve, this stock can drop a lot more. I think we're at the point now where we got to follow the market with the trend and on how Disney's going to run. So the resistance to break on Disney is going to be right here, just a little bit under 89.49. Jot that down, 89.49, and I'm going to put a price line across that right there. Actually, I'm going to put it on these tweezer tops. 89.06 to the T. That's going to be resistance to break, and if we break that, she can run up and hit this other resistance line right here, and we're going to draw that. Now, like I said, this is on the weekly time frame, but I'm going to use the bodies in this case to keep it kind of level head here. We'll hang that out to, whoop, that's the wrong way. Let's cancel the left and move it to the right. So somewhere around 91.46, which would be the 21 SMA. So we'll run it up to the 9, then to this one right here, 89 bucks. The 9 EMA at 87.11, and that'll move around. Then 89.06, and then the top at 91.44. The next one on the list is Target. Target's had a real bad issue with shoplifters. Now, what they're doing on Wall Street is they're writing this shoplifting thing off as a shrink, but it's a crooked way of going about it. It's a crooked way of going about it, because I guaranteed if they had more of that merchandise in their store, their profits would be up a lot higher. But it's not. Over $500 million per quarter getting stolen out of Target per year. 500 million shoplifting because of wokeness, because of riots, because of looters. Plus, they got on this campaign of showing devil stuff in the stores, Satanist stuff, and promoting it right in the front of the door, proudly during Pride Month, which I have nothing against gay people. I don't care what you do. If you want to go fuck a goat, go ahead. You know what I mean? That's up to you. But don't be shoving it in my face. If you like to have sex with a dog or a horse, go for it. I don't want to hear about it. So Target, I'm disgusted with Target. I think you can drop a lot more too. Now we're at a 3-year low on this son of a gun. Now I know a chick on CNBC that just loved Target. It was her most traded company. She's not been able to answer any of my questions lately. She's still trading it or what? Or she's proud of wokeness, or they just don't talk about it. They accept it. That's what Wall Street does. They have a short attention span, and they write things off. If it don't affect me, I guess it don't affect the way they trade, but it affects the stock. So this Target's had a real bad issue with that, of coming out. I've sent letters to them, and I said, don't mess with the children. Do anything you want, but don't bring it to the children. So we're going to open this up to a longer time frame, 10 years, see how far we can take this down. I'm seeing Target get back down to $100. Actually, I'd love to see it get right back down to around 83.58. Like I said, these fat cats, they're going to trade this Target. So what we had here, we should have had us a nice little bounce right here to the upside, but no, it failed. It went on down with market conditions. The whole market more or less hit that S&P head and shoulders, same as the SPX. I'll show them maybe here a little bit later. You can go back and watch my SPX indices videos and get a little clue of what I'm talking about. But we did break a major support. Now we've got a pivot point maybe in here somewhere where we could pull back to. But again, the fat cats are going to be all over this trade, and they're going to try to talk this baby up. But I think we can go a lot more down. I really do. I really believe that if they don't get this straight, understand what's going on, and only targeting 1.5% of the economy, they could be in a lot of hurt. I don't shop at Target. I think it's a pathetic store myself. When I go in there, it's like shopping in a 5 and dime. There's nothing in there that excites me. It's a 5 and dime store. It's not a Walmart where you can go in there and buy what you need to survive. at a good price. So I don't shop there. I never have. I went in there a couple of times, and what their grocery department's 8 gondolas long, and I mean, there's just nothing in there for me. So I'm looking at this inverse head and shoulders right here, right around 1046. I think I can take it right about in there. If we continue to take this downward tribe right around 106, and if that doesn't hold, we've got a major support right here at 92.46. So somewhere in there. Now this thing can jump back up and run back to 140 or break the 9 here on the weekly time frame, and it'd be right around that 130 area, 131. So that could be your resistance if she decides to start turning up. Now this might get in the media. I mean, every time one of the fat cats Wall Street stocks go down, they pop it up right on the screen and talk about it. That's what they did with Target when we had that knife last week. So just remember, Joe's the only one on CNBC that says, does it have anything to do with wokeness? And I believe it does. It couldn't even hold these 3 black crows here. So, that's pretty shameful. The next one we're going to talk about is Bud Light. Now, this is really the one that I can't stand. I just can't stand this company. I used to drink Bud Light. That's all we drunk. We'd buy keg after keg after keg after keg after keg. I don't know, probably bought at least, 500 kegs. I got pictures of me with kegs. I mean, look. I mean, I've drunk a lot of Budweiser. And we had a lot of parties. I went. Damn it, Jim. We had a lot of parties when we were young. This is me over here in the corner. There's a Budweiser keg right there. Yeah, we were definitely out of touch back then. We really sucked. Where I went, I had Budweiser in our hands. Hardly any of my friends are drinking it anymore. You know what I'm saying? We were just disgusted that we were so far out of touch and had to remind us. So I sobered up. I ain't drinking the shit anymore. I realized, I look back at my family and seen all them alcoholics, how they turned out. Luckily I didn't get caught in that. I went to playing music instead. Had fun doing that. But we had beer. I mean, Budweiser was always in our coolers. Not no more. Not no more. Not no more. I decided to go ahead and open up a picture frame shop. That's when I went back to college. Played in a lot of bands. Traveled around a lot. Played a lot of good music. But, so yeah, I'm not a Budweiser fan at all now. Get back to my picture here. So we're going to pull up this weekly time frame. Which one is it over here? Yeah. This is the weekly time frame, and she really hasn't been hurt as much as the others. Like I thought it would. It got smacked pretty good right in here back during COVID. Then we got faced up with that wokeness, and it pulled back during that right in here, and I called the bottom on that right there. So we kind of found us a support here. So let's see if we can hold this support on the pullback. And we'll go ahead and draw a price line right there. somewhere right around 55.22. If that doesn't hold, we're going to come back down here and probably hit 54. And then if she decides to break, she'll break that 65 EMA right there, that yellow line, and that'll be your resistance to break to the 200. And that'll be the resistance, because we're going to draw a little price line or a little trend line. We can draw it just straight across. Right there at 59.13. So it has to break the 65. Whoops. Break that 65 after it breaks the 50. Once it breaks the 65, she'll run right up here, I think, and hit the 59. There will be some resistance right in here at 58.12. See how that resistance here, what was support, will now become resistance. So we need to hold the 9 on the daily, and if we don't hold the 9, we're going to drop down here probably right around 55.22. And I'm just pointing these out because I think we might be at a bottom. Nike, what a shame. How dare you discriminate against women? Well, Nike's not doing too hot. There's a couple fronts on the reason why Nike's not doing too hot. The downturn in China. People can't afford their shoes. Wokeism. You know, the women aren't shopping and buying anything from Nike anymore, unless you're a tranny. So I don't know. We've got a huge gap here. So if we break this resistance, 98, if we break 99, I think we can start filling the gap at 179. Maybe hit that 9. And if we don't break 98.82, which I think we're going to have a decent week next week, and then in probably another September, we won't remember that we will remember. I wrote a song last September about the reversal in the market, and we reversed to a head and shoulders. So if we don't break 98.82 and run up to 179, we can pull back to each support level right here, one at 97.62, and then if we do not hold the $97, we can start dropping some more. And this one here, I mean, we're getting down to very bad low levels down here. And this is Nike. I mean, they've really screwed up. The next support level is right around 92.64. So that's it with wokeism. I wanted to bring these woke stocks because I think we could be seeing some little bitty reversals this coming week. But always remember, you know, I'm out of touch. And then my best friend down here pouring a beer and got it all full, and he's looking at him and got the beer oozing out. We're pretty tipsy by this. By this time, this gentleman over here on the left of him, he's passed away. He had an accident in a car. This girl here, she turned out weighing about 300 pounds. My best friend got a divorce from her. There I am, proud as I've ever been, sticking my fist up. I used to box, so I had that little thing with me. Always holding my fist up. So y'all have a good day. This is a sneaky snake trading strategy. Sorry this went on a little too long and probably become a lecture. But I'm just telling you how I am about being in the now and how well I've traded these woke stocks. News is very important to trade. And if you can define what news can carry a stock up or down, you know, guidance can move a stock. So can telling your customer base that they're out of touch and not apologize for it. Have a great day, retail traders.